Practical Christianity. We're pleased to welcome both those in our sanctuary this morning and those who are joining us via our Facebook live stream. For those in the sanctuary, if you'll please turn off your cell phones to prevent any alerts or conversations being picked up by our live stream microphone. At this point in the service, we would typically greet our neighbors. However, to maintain social distancing, today we'll simply send silent namaste greetings. I behold the Christ in you. Thank you. And to our visitors today, both here and online, we appreciate you joining us and welcome you into our Unity family. Our mission at Unity Church is to realize and express our oneness with God. Our vision statement is that we are a loving, spiritual community where we teach, share, and express unity in all life. Today's special music is going to be provided by Sailor Lynn with some assists from Julianne Tutko at the end of the service. And consistent with safety protocols, we just remind you to keep your masks on and that we are not singing today as a group. Our message today is a continuation of Reverend Quinton's series, Journey to Zion, and Reverend Quinton will now lead us in our opening prayer.
Take a breath. Oh, great God, we thank you for this opportunity to join together today. And we do lift up all the victims of COVID-19 throughout our nation and the world. And we ask for comfort and strength for those that have lost those that they love. And that hope continue to spring forth greatly and the ultimate driving of this plague from our nation and our world is our continuous prayer and expectation. We thank you that you will meet us today at the point of our need, that you will meet every need, encourage every heart, dry every tear, heal every sickness and every disease. We look to you, O great God, the Christ who indwells us, and we thank you.
With masks on, let's stand and join in affirming our statement of being. Together, God is all, both invisible and visible. One presence, one mind, one power is all. This one that is all is perfect life, perfect love, and perfect substance. I am an individualized expression of God. I am ever one with his perfect life, perfect love, and perfect substance. You may be seated. Today's daily word is love. I open my heart in love. I express the love I feel in my heart by showing my affection and giving nurturing attention. I speak loving, positive words that let those I care about know how much they mean to me. As my words affirm their goodness, beauty, and intelligence, I watch those qualities bloom like flowers blessed by sunshine. I extend my arms and embrace my family and friends with the warmth and comfort of unconditional love. I support my loved ones with compassion and care on their journey through life. I share my wisdom as I teach, my experience as I advise, and my understanding as I console. I pray for those I love, knowing that the Christ within them is the light that guides them everywhere they go and in everything they do. I am grateful for my role in my loved ones' lives. And from 1 John chapter 3, verse 18. Little children, let us love, not in word or speech, but in truth and action. And now Sailor will play us into our time of meditation. As we begin our time of meditation, I invite you to get comfortable, to feel the support of your chair, or the couch, or the floor, and perhaps to feel your feet beneath you or grounding you to the earth. And now I invite you to close your eyes and then to take a deep breath in and out and in and out. We acknowledge that these are challenging times for us all, but for this time of meditation, I ask that you give yourself permission to put your worries aside, knowing that you can return to them at any time you so choose. And for now, in this moment, to begin breathing in peace, breathing out worries, breathing in health, breathing out dis-ease, feeling with each breath that you are becoming more and more relaxed. Imagine, if you will, that you're walking down a path that will take you to a place where you feel most safe and secure. For some, that may be on a mountaintop overlooking a beautiful valley filled with wildflowers. And for others, it will be the valley itself that brings with it a sense of safety and security. For others, you may find yourself walking on the beach alongside the ocean, the waves lapping your feet, while others still may imagine themselves resting in the gentle, loving hands of God. Wherever you're placed, I invite you to breathe it in, to let your senses awaken to all that that place has to offer you. And as you go deeper and deeper into that sense of safety and security, imagine a ball of warm light at the very center of your being. And as you continue to breathe in and out, you recognize that it is in this centering place that you and God are one. That God is within you and all around you. And as you continue to breathe into this place that is God within, feel this warmth and light radiating out into your chest and trunk, into your shoulders and back, to your upper arms and neck, radiating upward through your chin, your cheeks, your eyes, and to your forehead. down your arms and into your hands and fingers, down your legs to your feet and the very tips of your toes, feeling yourself completely filled with the love of God, the presence of God, the power of God. Breathing in and breathing out, we come to understand that this state of safety and security, this connection is always there for us. That God is always waiting for us, always present for us, always here for us, regardless of our circumstances. Just continue to breathe all of that in and out, and in and out. For now, we're approaching the end of our time of meditation. And as you continue to breathe deeply in and out, I invite you to take whatever time you need to return to that chair, or couch, or floor, bringing with you the sure knowledge that God lives within each of us, that we can return to this place of safety and security as often as we choose, whenever we choose, and that indeed we can live in this place every moment of every day. And for that, we say, thank you, God. Thank you, and amen.
Well, it's so good to see everybody here. Glad you guys are present, each and every one of you. So I'd like to do this first special song for us, dedicated to our very own beloved Angelo Rapon, sending him all the love and all the compassion that his heart can take. to myself, what a wonderful world. Yeah, yeah. What a wonderful world. Yeah, yeah, yeah. I see babies crying. Yeah. I watch them grow. They'll learn much more than I'll ever know. And I say to myself, what a wonderful world. Yeah, what a wonderful world. Yeah, what a wonderful
Beautiful, thank you, Sailor. Welcome to everyone. Our physically present and live stream audience. I want to make a particular mention. Today is Grandparents' Day. And I want to give honor and glory to all us grandparents. Good to say. We rock, we rule. And all others are just details. But there's a reason why they call them grand, isn't that right? So we want to welcome them and make a special mention of that. Welcome today. If any of our first-time guests with us, we would be much appreciative if you would leave a record of your visit with us for our mailing list and grab the gift we have for you on your way out the door. And we are going to continue talking about our journey to Zion. Let me share a story with you that I thought was so cool in this regard from a man named Maston Kipp. He said when he discovered Buddhist meditation, the story is called The Wise Monk. He said, I came across a Buddhist temple in downtown Los Angeles. I found it through Yelp or Google and decided to attend one of their Dharma talks and meditations. I went and the main monk gave a talk about Dharma and the idea of being unattached to things, as well as many other Buddhist principles. I was totally engaged in the conversation and soaking up the wisdom from this man, who seemed to be a living sage. After the talk, we did a 20 or 30-minute closed-eye meditation, which I thoroughly enjoyed. After the meditation, the session was over and the 30 or so people who were there started to disperse. But being the seeker that I am, I decided to go up and talk with the monk and his other monks, and I started asking all kinds of questions. Before I knew it, the morning was gone and it was lunchtime. So the robed and shaven-headed monks extended an invitation to me to come to lunch. I jumped at the idea because now I was really going to get the inside scoop on all the sage wisdom these guys could offer me. I am a sponge for wisdom. So anytime I get around people who have something wise to share, I am all ears. So I went out to my car and followed a small car packed with 4 really Buddhist monks. I was so psyched because I felt like I was about to discover some amazing vegan or vegetarian dive restaurant in downtown LA. And as we kept driving, my excitement grew and grew and grew. Where were these guys going? It's probably going to be awesome. So as we were driving, I saw their car pull into a parking lot. But I couldn't believe my eyes. Why in the world would 4 Buddhist monks pull into a Sizzler? That's right, I was led to the Sizzler by 4 shaven-headed, robe-wearing, Dharma-talking Buddhist monks. I couldn't believe it. I thought it must have been because their salad bar was so cheap. I mean, after all, if you're a monk, you're not making 6 figures, so maybe we weren't going to eat at an amazing dive bar. Maybe we were just going to have a modest vegetarian salad from the Sizzler salad bar. I was cool with this. I didn't really care, I just wanted the wisdom. So as we made our way to Sizzler, and we made it over to the salad bar first. Now, I'm not a vegan or a vegetarian. I do my best to get non-factory farm meat and eat as consciously as possible. But in this moment in front of the monks, I became an instant vegan. I was careful about my choices from the salad bar. No cheese, no dressings with dairy, no chicken or tuna from the salad bar. Just some lettuce, tomatoes, mushrooms, bell peppers, nuts, and vinaigrette for me. It seemed like such a small meal, but so what? I was there for the wisdom. I thought I'd just get a big Diet Coke to fill me up for the rest of the meal, while the monks and I got down to some serious Dharma talking. So I came back to the seat. I saw the monks ordering food. To my shock, the wisest of the monks, the man who gave the Dharma talk, ordered a steak. And another one ordered steak, and the other two ordered chicken. I was now in total shock. Here I was, the meat eater, pretending to be a vegan in the presence of the monks, and they were about to go to town on some meat. Not meat from a local provider, Sizzler, steak and chicken. I just didn't get it. So the meal went along, and I was dying to ask them about why they were eating meat, but I just couldn't do it. We talked. Finally, the meal came. Boom, 2 steaks and 2 chickens. And I was stuck with my puny excuse for a salad. They even asked me if I was hungry, because I had so little to eat. You're not hungry? So as the monks dove into their food, which included dead animals, I finally couldn't take it anymore. I popped. I stopped the conversation and said, okay, hold on guys, what is up with the meat? You guys are Buddhist monks. Aren't you committed to metta, which is unconditional love for all sentient beings? Without a twitch, the wise old monk looked up from his steak, looked at me and said, we have a phrase around the ashram. And then he paused. One of those dramatic wisdom pauses, like something epic was about to come out of his mouth. And he said, and that phrase is, not Buddha yet. And with that, they went about their meals. I couldn't believe it. Are you freaking kidding me? Not Buddha yet. In that moment, it felt like a cop-out. But as I began to reflect on this phrase later in life, I saw the wisdom in it. Now I know that some of you must be thinking, what a cop-out. So that means you can kill people too, because he's not Buddha yet? This obviously shouldn't be used to justify bad behavior. That being said, I think it was one of the most honest things I've ever heard a spiritual person say to me. The idea of not being Buddha yet is huge. We can let ourselves off the hook for not being spiritually perfect, and instead take the journey into our ever so precious imperfections. We end up shriveling up our life when we do not allow ourselves to be human. And it helped me too not to take things so freaking seriously. And so that really relates very much to our journey to Zion that we've been on for the last few weeks. This is a journey into the completion of oneness with God, of Christ consciousness. And we speak of it being David's journey, but of course David represents all of our journey in life. David, according to the Metaphysical Bible Dictionary, is divine love individualized in human consciousness. And Zion is love's abode in the phase of the subjective consciousness where high thoughts and ideals abide. This is where we want to live. This is where we're journeying toward. It's ruling and reigning in life through divine love. And there are 4 particular places that David went in his journey that we're focusing on. The first being Bethlehem, which we're going to wrap up today. It was a little longer in Bethlehem than I thought it would be. But it represents faithfulness in practical things. Keeping the sheep, cleaning up the car, mowing the yard, paying the bills, all the things that are essential. But we bring the kingdom of God to these things and see that as a spiritual exercise. And that helps when I got to do this or that, but you're bringing the kingdom of God to these areas of your life. And so we're also going to look at Adullam, Hebron, and then the final destination, Zion. But let me say something about the journey, and this story really helps illustrate that in a great way. You know, we're looking at this in a linear way, as Westerners tend to do. Bethlehem to Adullam, to Hebron, to Zion, and the journey's complete. But when you get down to it, the journey is really cyclical. I brought this forth not long ago in that Westerners tend to think of time being linear, Easterners tend to think of it being cyclical.
You know, we think of point A to point B, and ultimately the final point of the journey, but in Eastern thought, and I like it more and more, is that it's something that goes around and could indeed start over again. And this is a very different way of looking at it. And I see the journey to Zion as cyclical, because there are phases of the journey you think, well, I got through that, now I can go on. But in actuality, it can come back around again. They old saying, come back around and bite you on the butt. Sometimes it feels like that. But how many know that there are phases of this journey that repeat again and again? But the point is, hopefully we learned something from when we went last time, that when it comes around again, we're better able to deal with it. You see that? That dawned on me recently. So if we learn more each time, we're better able to reflect Christ consciousness, the Christ within us in that phase of our lives. Because really the journey is way more important than the destination. And we need to learn to enjoy the journey more. You know, in my previous pastorate in Kentucky for 10 years, we had some wonderful things, some great success. But this time around, I got to tell you, I am determined to enjoy it more. Because then, you know, I'm very goal-oriented. We got this done, and then we achieve this objective and reach this goal, and that's good. I'm not knocking that. It has its place. But all along the way, I think I could have enjoyed it more. And I'm determined to enjoy it more this time. And really, this should be a commitment we all make to enjoy this journey. There are aspects of it that don't seem very enjoyable, but we need to determine in our hearts that, you know, all right, I remember this part. Because I remember I experienced something back when, and so I learned something that I can apply now. So the journey to Zion is not so much linear as it is cyclical. So learn to enjoy it. And indeed, Eric Butterworth says it may take more than one lifetime to reach the fullness of Christ consciousness, which is pretty cool. You think, and it's this when we think, you know, well, how do you know when you get there? You know, I don't really even think that's an issue. Because I see areas of my life, and I look at it, all right, I've grown here, and I've made progress that I'm pretty pleased with. But in this area, I really suck, and I haven't made the progress that I would like to have made. And so we look ahead, you know, I can work on this, but I'm pleased with this. But we don't let this bog us down to where we lose sight of this. You see what I mean? It's a cyclical journey that we need to rejoice in and enjoy. Christ consciousness is reigning supreme in our lives. And it may take way more than one lifetime to reach it. But how many know, well, how do I know when I get there? I look at it as kind of like the guy who got the most humble man award. And when he accepted it, they took it back. You know what I mean? Because, you know, when you're growing, when you're developing, it just doesn't really matter at what point you are compared to maybe somebody else. Because I find there's people that you have developed in phases that I have yet to really score in. And maybe I have that, but we learn from each other. We grow together, and we appreciate the journey as we go. Does that make any sense? Good, because I thought it made sense. But we want to go back down to 1 Samuel 17. We're going to finish up, honest to God, we're going to finish up the battle between David and Goliath today. I've just gotten many new insights into this. And Carolyn said, you're going to finish up in Bethlehem today? Yes, dear, I am. But in relation to Goliath, let me read again from the Metaphysical Bible Dictionary. Charles Fillmore said concerning Goliath, Goliath represents ideas, big, ugly, nasty ideas that come against us. Ideas are not all the same importance. Some are large and strong, some are weak and small. There are aggressive, domineering ideas like Goliath that parade themselves prominently, brag about their power, and with fearful threats of disaster keep us frightened into submission to their unrighteous reign. These domineering ideas of error have one argument they impress upon us at all times. Fear of results should we dare to meet them openly and oppose their reign in consciousness. The fear of opposing prevailing ideas, although we know them to be erroneous, is woven into our whole mental fabric. This fear is portrayed in Goliath. And so it represents big, nasty, ugly ideas that come into our lives and try and make us fearful and doubtful and make us wonder, whether we're going to prevail. That's what Goliath represents. And we see David facing Goliath here. And as we said, David represents what the Christ does within each of us, is that the Christ causes within each person a certain passion, which leads us to a certain place, causing us to fulfill a divine purpose. And so we've seen that in David, the person, the passion, the place, and the purpose. Now let's pick up, David already said he's going to kill this guy. He said, I'm going to take him down because I know I can, because I took down a lion, I took down a bear, nobody saw it, but I did it, and I'll do the same with him. And nobody really thought he had a shot. But nevertheless, he was the only one willing to step forward, because Goliath said, the challenge was, you kill me, we will all serve you. I kill you, then it implies, you're going to serve all of us. And he challenged 40 days with this. Now, I want to pick up, because David had committed to kill the giant, to take down this dreadful idea, this dreadful bit of intrusion into consciousness. Now, in verse 38, then Saul clothed David with his garments and put a bronze helmet on his head, and he clothed him with armor. And David girded his sword over his armor and tried to walk, for he had not tested them. So David said to Saul, I cannot go with these, for I have not tested them. And David took them off. Now here, they offer him armor. How many know armor is not a bad idea? When you live at a time fighting a guy, your victory or your death can be determined on whether you're as well armored as him or better. So this was not a bad idea. And so Saul said, let me give you my armor. David put it on, and so he could hardly move. He said, I don't think this is going to work for me. He said, I haven't tested it. In other words, this is not my life experience. David was not a man of war by experience. He killed some predators that threatened his daddy's sheep. And he learned how to use a sling. I used to think that meant slingshot, but they actually didn't have any rubber then, for the elastic part. But a sling was an extraordinary weapon that took an incredible amount of skill to put a stone in and be able to throw that sucker where it would strike the hyena or the predator, And David had learned how to do that. He said, I don't know armor, I know slings and rocks. This is my specialty. And how many know we must walk within our life experience to fulfill the purpose that the Christ has put within us? How many know there are people, well-meaning people, that try and put you into a particular box or mold, and they don't mean any harm. In fact, how many know they didn't mean any harm telling David to put on armor? That wasn't a bad idea. At times it's a good idea, but it may not be right for you. And so David said, this armor is not going to work for me. He took it off, they watched him, he picked up a sling and 5 rocks and said, oh yeah, that'll work. That's from the Handbook of Modern Warfare. But how many know what doesn't look sensible to many can make perfect sense to you? And so you must fulfill what you have in your own heart. You must find your own path. And in a nice way say, I appreciate the advice, but I believe I know what I need to be doing here. I know when I'd gone with the Unitarian Universalists initially, before I found the glorious place of unity that I love now. When I was with them, they told me the requirements that was going to be for me to be a unity minister. And there were some hoops to jump through, man. I estimate I'd be approximately 86 and a half years old when I was ready to take my first church. Because the requirements were so huge. And it was like David in this armor. This doesn't seem to fit me. This doesn't seem to work for me. I tried it on, but it just didn't seem right. And how many know there are things that people may try and put upon you that don't fit you? And they're not going to work for you. And the worst thing is when you try to make them work, and they certainly are not going to do that. They're well-meaning. We don't look down on them or anything, or say, get away from me. We appreciate their concern. We listen. It's always good to listen. because you can learn. Then the final analysis, you have to know what fits you to fulfill the divine purpose that the Christ has put within you. Armor is a good idea, but in David's case, it was not a God idea. How many know we will only take down our Goliaths with our tested weapons? And we'll do it. And amazingly enough, I'm through early. So thank you again for your kind attention.
Thank you so much for that message. This next song is by Bob Marley. I'm sure you'll recognize if you guys can sing along. Singing, don't worry about a thing. Oh, because I'm really thankful. Gonna be alright. Sing it with you, don't worry about a thing. Oh, because I'm really thankful. Gonna be alright. Woke up this morning, smiled with the rising sun. 3 little birds sit by my doorstep. Oh, sing a sweet song. A melody's pure and true. Sing it with me. This is my message to you. Sing it with me. Don't worry about things. Oh, because I'm really thankful. Gonna be alright. Oh, sing it, don't worry about things. Oh, because I'm really thankful. Gonna be alright. I woke up this morning, smiled with the rising sun. 3 little birds sit by my doorstep. Yeah, sing a sweet song. A melody's pure and true. Sing it with me. This is my message to you. Ooh, ooh, sing it, don't worry, girl, about a thing. Oh, because I'm really thankful, gonna be alright. Oh, because I'm really thankful, it's gonna be alright. Oh, this is my message to you. Oh, this is my message to you. Oh, this is my message to you.
Thank you, Reverend Clinton, for your inspiring message. And thank you as well, Sailor, for the beautiful addition of your music. That was really awesome. Now is the time for the giving and receiving of our tithes and offerings. This is another aspect of our service that we've adjusted for safety. So as you exit the service today, you'll find boxes outside each door in which you can drop your offering. Those at home will find options for giving in our email blast and on our Facebook and our web pages. You're also going to find information there about making a prayer request and membership in our church. But for now, let's hold our gifts in our hands, infusing them with gratitude as we bless them with our prayer for prosperity. All together. Divine love, through me, blesses and multiplies all that I have, all that I give, and all that I receive.
that increase and multiplying of our ability to give continues to grow as we are continuing to be faithful. That we are never diminished by giving, but always increased. We thank you for that, God. Moving upon every prayer request issued, every need being met by the power of our Christ. Amen.
Just a couple of quick reminders. The Heart-Centered Metaphysics Zoom class begins this Wednesday, September 16th. If you'd like more information about that, you'll find it on our website. And also that the Unity Gator masks are available in the gift shop. You can get one for $10 or two for $15. Please, if you will, remain seated during the peace song and the prayer for protection. And for reasons of safety, we ask that you not join in the singing of those today. At the close of our prayer for protection, our ushers will release everyone row by row, starting with the back of the sanctuary. When your row is released, please exit into the parking lot to avoid creating a crowded environment in the lobby. Our gift shop will be open for one person to enter at a time. As a reminder, there are boxes to receive your contribution checks or cash located outside each of the sanctuary exits. And if you're interested in looking over our church's monthly financial statements, they are posted outside the sanctuary, I think every week, but definitely on the last Sunday of the month. All right, Judy.
Let there be peace on earth, and let it begin with me. Let there be peace on earth, the peace that was meant to be, with God as Creator, family all are we. Let us walk with each other in perfect harmony. Let peace begin with me. Let this be the moment now. With every step I take, let this be my joyous vow, to take each moment and live each moment in peace eternally. Let there be peace on earth, and let it begin with me.
The light of God surrounds you. The love of God enfolds you.
The light of God surrounds you. The love of God enfolds you.
The power of God protects you.
The power of God protects you.
The presence of God watches over you.
The presence of God watches over you.
Wherever you are, God is.
Forever and ever, forever and ever. Amen.
For those present here and those joining us online, we appreciate you choosing to share this uplifting time together. Our ushers will now escort us safely from the sanctuary. We hope you have a wonderful week, and we look forward to you joining us again next Sunday.